You see all the van life photos, you watch all the van tours, but do you wonder what this nomadic lifestyle is all about? Are you curious about life on the road? Social media calls it #vanlife. We call it home. I'll ask 10 questions to get you the stories that you want to hear from the people who live, work, and travel and adventure in this nomadic lifestyle. Welcome to Life on the Road. You ready?
I'm ready.
Okay, perfect. Welcome to another episode of Life on the Road, where I ask 10 questions to get you the stories that you want to hear from her life on the road. Welcome.
Thank you.
This is amazing.
Yes.
That is my default go-to. This is amazing. Everybody on the show, I say it every single time. But we are in Flagstaff, Arizona. We just finished moon landing. Were you at moon landing?
I was not. I didn't
You were
make
not at moon landing. Okay. We just finished Jordan's episode, who was at moon landing and who I met and was very kindly invited to y'all's camp, and we get to film today, which I'm excited about.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is going to be amazing. As we always start the show, tell us who you are, how long you've been on the road, and where you're from, and then anywhere in between, shamelessly promote yourself and drop your Instagram.
Yes. Okay. So my name's Emily. M Gone Wild on Instagram.
Okay. EM Gone Wild, as I mistyped it the first time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then I just moved into my rig at the end of May.
Yes, you are new.
Yeah, under 6 months.
Yep.
And I'm from Pennsylvania.
Okay.
Yeah.
Where in Pennsylvania?
I grew up in Bucks County, so like outside of Philly.
Outside Philly, yeah.
And then the last 10 years I was in Lancaster.
Okay.
Yeah.
Perfect. Let's learn a little bit about your life on the road.
Okay.
Question 1, what was the beginning moment, cause, or inspiration to live your life on the road?
Okay. I feel like this is a lot of people's answer. But 2020, height of COVID, quarantine, and I didn't know that people were living in their vehicles at all.
Okay.
So Sydney, actually, Divine on the Road,
Yep.
it's like a big solo female van life.
Yeah, she's a friend.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
She's the first person that I saw, and I then just became absolutely obsessed.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's how it started for me.
That's how it started for you.
Yeah.
Did you see her on Instagram?
TikTok. Yeah.
Interesting that it was on TikTok. Okay. Because
You know,
I know she does
when
both platforms.
Yeah, when there's nothing to do during COVID and you're just scrolling until TikTok tells you should probably take a break.
I love that.
And now I've deleted TikTok because I just can't do that to myself.
You can't do it anymore? Kudos to you. Good job. But Sydney was your kind of, okay, like, this is interesting. Like, I'm intrigued. I'm intrigued.
I want to know more.
Okay. So based on that, did you go down any other rabbit holes besides her kind of lifestyle and how she lives? Did you end up like following #vanlife? Did you do any other like?
Yeah. Then from there, I was like,
you're like, I want to learn everything.
Who all can I consume this content from? So then I just went on a crazy following spree.
Okay.
Followed so many people.
Okay.
Learned about how they're doing it.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
And that was 2020.
Yeah, and before that, I was like starting to become super outdoorsy. That's when I started a goal of like. That's when I was tent camping a lot.
Okay.
So I wanted to tent camp in every state. And now it's kind of adapted to just sleeping in every state.
Okay.
And I started it in 2019.
Okay.
So.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Very, very cool. Question 2, what has been your experience with other nomadic travelers while living your life on the road?
So, incredible. It's honestly, I didn't realize how much time I would spend with other people.
Yeah.
Didn't really know anybody. Descend was also my first event.
Okay. Jeez.
I know. Super overwhelming.
I've now done, I've done almost 50 interviews, and there's been like a handful of people where Descend was their first event. And it
that
just
was
blows
the one
my
that
mind.
I like knew
the one you
of.
knew of. It's the biggest event. It's the
Yeah.
most popular. It's the most well talked about.
Yeah. I was like,
so
this
that makes
is the
sense.
one.
Yeah, it is
you
the
know?
one. Yeah.
Yeah. So my experience with the nomad community, so welcoming.
Yeah.
So nice.
Yeah.
It just feels good to be around like-minded people.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, for sure. I mean, and again, too, I think it was interesting what you said initially, that you were surprised at how much you're around other people in
Yeah.
this lifestyle. Before you started, did you think you would be alone a lot?
Most of the time. I
Okay.
was like trying to think of like what I was going to do next, but you talk to other people about what are we going to do next, you know?
Yeah.
And then something that I say too is that the events are fun, right? It's huge and it's overwhelming and you're around so many people.
Yes.
And I feel like what's equally as important is who you choose to caravan with after the event.
Yeah.
Because it just is much more intimate and much more, you get to know people so much more. And I like that part, like the post-event hangouts.
That's where the deep, seated friendships come. Yeah, exactly. That's where you sit and you have long conversations about your life and who you are and what you desire and all those things. Yeah. Those things are very important. And the nomadic community is crazy like that in a sense that those friendships are, happen so fast and they're so deep so quickly. So yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Question 3 is, what has been your biggest failure? What has been your biggest triumph while living your life on the road?
Okay, these are going to be combined because
they usually are.
Yeah.
Honestly, I wrote the question that way, knowing that most of the time people will go, "Oh, that was a failure," but oh, by the way, because it was a failure, it was a triumph.
Right. My first, I want to say like 10 days of moving into the van, I was like, oh, I messed up. I was like, this is terrible. I actually
Is this on the road or is this in Philly and back in PA?
Okay, so for the first June and July, I was sleeping in my work parking lot.
Okay. Yeah, so you still had a job and you were just living in your rig.
Yeah.
Okay. Happens all the time.
But I was commuting because I had 2 jobs, and one was in Lancaster and one was in Harrisburg.
Okay.
So commuting an hour.
Yep.
And I was like, this sucks. I don't want to do this.
Yeah.
The things that really bothered me were the prep in moving. Yeah. And I was like, I didn't have to do this in a house. Why do I have to do this now? Yeah. And then the triumph part is acceptance. Yeah. And being like, oh,
no, this is what I want to do.
This is part of it.
Yeah. This is what I have to do in order to achieve this. Yeah.
Okay. So getting over that oh shit moment.
Yeah. Well, and too, like, trust me, you're gonna have a lot more oh shit moments coming. Yeah. But having that like base understanding already very early on in your nomadic life, that like, oh, when that next oh shit moment comes, you're like, I've done this. I've been here.
I can tackle this.
Mentally, I know
what
what this looks like and feels like. And I know I'm going to be able to get over this, and I know it's going to be better on the other side.
For sure.
At the end of the day. So I think that's a really important moment, and nomads don't face that necessarily right away. Like, they find that out way deeper into nomadic travel. So I think that is a really key thing that you already kind of have some knowledge of. You already kind of understand what's coming. So, yeah. Because it's going to happen again. I'm just going to warn you.
Yeah.
For sure. Question 4 is, what is it? Did you start your life on the road single? What is it like living your life on the road single?
I didn't start single.
Okay.
We were in separate rigs. And I am single now.
Okay.
So that is how that went.
All right. No, I love that. All right. That's an interesting answer. Yeah. There's been a few that have answered that way. So you had this desire to 2020, COVID's, hitting the world. You're like, I want to get in a rig. Are you dating this person at this time? Okay. So you guys are conversating about the idea of nomadic travel.
Yeah. My dream.
This is your dream.
And I was
and you introduced this to him.
Yeah. Okay. And I was like, this is something that I want to do.
Okay.
Join me or not.
Okay. Yeah. And he was on board, obviously. He got a rig.
Eventually.
Okay, yeah. So you got a rig first.
Well, it was from 2020 to 22 of like the talk, the research, the whatever.
The planning, the figuring it out, like all the things.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then...
Did you get your rig first? Or like who went first?
It was pretty much at the same time.
Same time? Okay.
Yeah. So...
And then how quickly into the time you're living in your rig do you end that relationship?
August.
So when you got on the road full time?
Yep.
Okay.
You learn, because we didn't live together.
Okay.
And it's just, everything's happening in a bubble,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah.
So it's just real tight, and it's, you learn quickly than if you were in a house.
Yes, very much so. You know, and you learn the specifics of, you know, a relationship or somebody's communication style or, you know, all the things that are important in a relationship come real fast in a very small space or on the road in general. So did you guys actually attempt to travel a little bit prior to you getting on the road full time?
Camping.
Okay, yeah, just like day trips or weekend trips or whatever. And, and over time you kind of realized,
yeah, it was
so
kind of just like...
Was it mutual or this was like your realization? Sorry, I didn't mean to
No, it's okay. I think it like, I sparked it.
Okay.
And then it was like a
realization.
Yeah, maybe this isn't. Yeah.
Okay, that's good. So you end a relationship, get on the road full time in August. Question 5, what's the best place, craziest place you've had sex during your life on the road?
Okay. California.
Yep.
Lost Coast.
Yep.
Parked right up against the sand.
Yeah.
Doors are open.
Epic.
You hear the ocean.
Absolutely epic. Yeah. It's literally, California gets a bad rap because it is California and it's expensive and diesel's fucking $8 and blah, 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 whatever. But god damn is it beautiful.
Yeah, for sure.
Like, you know, I always like, you know, cringe sometimes when I have to go back to Colorado or California and it's expensive and blah, blah, blah. But man, is it a beautiful state. So yeah, I can appreciate that. Question 6, you just clocked out. How do you make money while living your life on the road?
Yeah, I work for a Harley-Davidson dealership back home.
Hell yeah.
So I was in person.
Which dealership, out of curiosity?
Santa Valley in Harrisburg.
I know where that is.
Cool.
I touched Philly a little bit for a minute. Like I had some, I used to travel there occasionally for some family stuff. So I know that area a little bit.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so I was...
You work for just that dealership?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
It was in January or February of this year, and I'm doing a yearly review with my boss.
Cool.
And at the end, he's like, anything for me? And I was like, I bought a van and I don't want to leave this dealership and I really just still want to work for you. Can I please work remotely?
That is awesome.
Yeah.
So you were working in-house. Were you at the store every day?
Mostly. I did end up doing like a hybrid schedule over winter, and then it kind of just flowed into the rest of the year. So it was like 3 days there, 2 days work from home.
Okay.
And I think that really helped with, okay, I understand that she's still going to work and not going to be clocked in and filming video.
Hey, sorry.
I clocked out.
Yeah, exactly. Shout out to Harley Davidson. David Harley Davidson, we're really sorry. We're taking 50 minutes to film a quick interview. She's going to get back to work here soon. I promise. I love it. That's pretty cool, though. Like, again, it's one of maybe, it's funny. This question is kind of maybe the most boring question of my 10 questions. But at the same time, I love hearing so many different ways individuals make money while living their life on the road.
Because there's so many options.
There's so many options. There's so many things that you can do.
Super unconventional.
What do you do specifically for Harley?
Marketing.
Marketing. Okay.
Yeah. So
do you run like their social media and like their digital advertising, stuff like that? Okay, cool. And again, like the advent of Starlink, you know, the way in which internet is capable now at a very high level. Like you can do so many crazy things. I'm uploading 470 gigabytes of digital information to Dropbox as we speak, all over Starlink. Like it is, you're capable of doing so many crazy things, you know, on the road. And so this is pretty awesome. Like I think it's really cool. Good for you. 1, 2, I think it's really like you need a little shout out for just asking, right? Like during that interview.
That was so hard.
Or, like just saying, hey, like this is what I want.
Yeah.
I just bought a rig. Like, I want to go on the road. Like, can I take my job on the road? Like,
Yeah.
I think if more people did that, they'd be surprised that their answer would be yes.
For sure.
You know, so.
Because there's not many things that you can't do remotely nowadays. Like,
Very true.
or make it work somehow. Like, I did marketing and events, and it was like just me. But now I have an employee who's like boots on the ground guy who is doing the events part. So it's like, okay, my boss was like, yes, and how do we make this work? And this is how we're doing it.
Yeah. No, it's awesome. I think it's fantastic. And I love, like, again, you know, COVID's really, you know, pushed employers to kind of start to look at the opportunity of working from home or working remotely.
Yeah.
And so, you know, I think now having the courage, you know, say you're in IT, say you're in some other form in an office setting, but I think employers are so much more receptive to the idea of remote work that broaching that question is not a big deal. Like, you're not going to get fired for it. You know, just bring it up and have the conversation.
And the worst possible case scenario,
they say no.
He says no, and then I was going to take another couple months to find a new job.
Yeah,
like, that's the worst thing that could happen.
Correct. No, and then he says yes, and now you're still getting to do what you love, and we're in Flagstaff, Arizona, and you're working for Harley Davidson back in PA, which is awesome. So kudos to you. Question 7, what is your rig? Who built it? And why did you choose it to live your life on the road?
Ram Promaster.
Ram Promaster. Love Promasters.
Yes.
I make fun of them a lot, but that's okay. They're great vehicles.
I think everyone makes fun of them.
Everyone makes fun of them. I have a very funny T-shirt. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
That is making fun of them. So yes.
But it hasn't broke down on me, so we're good.
Okay. Be wary of the transmission.
I know. That's what I've heard.
Just FYI.
Yeah. 2023. Promaster.
Okay. 2-wheel drive?
Yes.
Okay.
And it was from a builder in Westchester, Pennsylvania, TG Customs.
Okay.
Seth and Hillary were great.
Sweet.
I sent them, I was probably a little bit over the top and sent them like a 10-page PDF of like,
it's not over
this
the top.
is what I'm looking for.
Yeah.
And then they just brought it to life. It was absolutely incredible.
So let's talk about that process a little bit, because I think that's interesting. I did something maybe more extreme. Ross at Rossmönster always laughs, and he's like, you're the only client that we didn't actually do anything for. I had like full drawings, like full AutoCAD drawings. Like, I had every product spec'd, picked out, serial number written down.
They just had to
put it together.
Order things and put it in.
Basically, yeah. So yeah, talk about like where your head was at when you, obviously you're watching Sydney.
Yeah.
You're kind of getting all this information. And then what does this 10-page PDF kind of like start to look like, and what was that ultimately for you?
So I forget what month I approached them. I approached them at 2 different times.
Okay.
The first time was just me reaching out to different builders, and I'm like, let me see.
Just trying to get an understanding what's out there.
Yeah, this was before it was like, oh, I'm doing this, you know? And then the second time I reached out to them, they were like, oh, we remember you, like from your other
inquiry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, okay, the 10-page PDF was the first couple of pages were separated into like kitchen, living space. I want this, I want locking this, and I want this to be here, and I want 3 overhead cabinets on this side, you know, like those sort of things. And then the rest of it was like design-y from like other people's vans.
Okay.
Put it in there, told them I like how the drawer, the garage drawer pulls out like this, and I like how this is organized in this person's van.
Okay, cool.
This layout.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they basically took that document, interpreted it into what you have now. Yeah,
with some, hey, this isn't possible.
Yeah, exactly. Well, so that was going to be my next question is like, from all of your, and again, this is like, and this is the reason why I'm bringing this up, is like, I think it's very helpful for individuals that have never gotten into this world or thinking about getting into this world. You know, you create a list of like, I can't live without this. Like, this is absolutely has to go in the van. And then there's things that are like, I'd like this, but maybe not. Like, if it doesn't fit or if it doesn't work, okay.
Yeah.
So, like, talk about that process where they were like, this isn't going to work.
The one thing that I'm thinking of is, so I have 2 bench seats.
Okay.
And I was like, okay, one will be toilet, one will be litter box. I have a cat.
Yep.
And they were like, well, there's wheel wells. So you can't do that. And they
Yeah.
told me that like the day I was dropping it off, standing in my van, and I don't like being caught off guard.
Yeah.
Like, so I'm standing in my van and I'm like, it's ruined. My whole, you know, like when
The world was ending.
The world was ending. I was panicking.
Yeah.
When they were just like, well, we're just going to put it here instead. And I'm like, it's fine.
Yeah.
It's fine.
Yeah.
So that was one of them.
Yeah, compromise is going to have to happen.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
Like at the end of the day, you're not going to get everything you want. Like,
yeah.
You know, and even if you think you are, eventually something's going to have to give and change and be adjusted. So, like, you know, I get it.
That's the one I thought of off the top of my head. Just
I get it.
Switching up the layout.
But kudos to you to like have some planning and some foresight going into it. You know, again, and a lot of builders out there are capable these days of actually helping you with design, you know.
Oh yeah,
and
they
really
were so good.
Good. That's amazing. And I'm glad that's the case because, you know, not a lot of customers have that background or knowledge and understanding. And so, but kudos to you for like doing some research on your own and knowing like, hey, I think I really want this because I think this is how I'm going to live. Like, I think that's really important as well.
This seems functional to me.
Yeah, exactly. This is how I think like I would do a day to day. Yeah, that's where I started. So I love that. Question 8, what is your best bathroom? Actually, you did say the year of the rig, right? 2023. Yeah, okay, good. Question 8, what is your best bathroom, number 1 or number 2 story from Life on the Road?
So I have a toilet.
Okay, that's always the first question is, do we have a toilet in the rig?
Yeah, so I don't have any like...
What's the toilet?
It's just a cassette.
Small cassette?
Yeah.
2.5 gallon or 5 gallon? 2.5 gallon? Okay.
Okay, I guess this is kind of related.
Have we used the cassette?
Yeah.
Okay, you use it.
My ex was always the one who emptied the toilets. And then when we broke up, I had to learn how to do that myself.
Yep.
And the first time I did it, I spilled it on myself.
Okay. Always like, you know, something we talk about on the show all the time is you're not a real van lifer till you've had pee on the floor. So, you know, I get it. It makes sense.
Yeah. As I was dumping it into a thing and it splashed back at me and I was like, this is absolutely disgusting.
So you still have it, still use it, even after that horrific first incident.
It's not the worst van chore anymore, so it's fine.
Yeah, you've gotten used to the process. Yeah. And deal with it. But that's really funny. Have you had a pressure issue yet?
No, I have heard of that.
But you've heard the horror stories.
Yeah.
I'm glad you know about it. The reason why I ask is I bring it up because it's a commonly told story on this show is like, you know, going from low elevation to high elevation and not...
That would stink.
It's pretty bad.
Yep.
Like, I physically have yet to see it happen, but I've heard enough of these stories to like go, God, I'd never want to see that ever again in my life. So yeah, I'm glad that hasn't happened to you, but always like, even now, like we're at elevation here in Flag.
Yeah.
Like, you know, going back down to Phoenix or like coming back up from Phoenix to here, I would pull that pressure valve or just like release some of that pressure, you know, at any time. So, yeah, beware.
Yeah.
I'm glad you've heard the stories because it's no fun. Question 9, what has been the happiest and hardest moments of living your life on the road?
Okay, I'm going to go hardest first.
Okay.
And it was yesterday.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
Okay.
I started van life with 3 cats.
Oh, no.
And I just had to, the 2 of them weren't happy.
Okay.
They were much, they would be so much happier in a house.
Sure.
So I was in New Mexico and I took them to a really nice shelter.
Yeah.
And yeah, they're up for adoption in New Mexico. I still have one. Yeah, that was I was thinking about it for a while.
I easily can see that as being the hardest thing you've ever done.
Yeah, because
like,
I've had
not
them...
Not in van life, just in life in general.
Yeah, for sure.
That's super hard.
They are 4 and 6, and I've had them since they were kittens, so that's a long time.
Long time.
Yeah.
I'm so sorry.
Still processing that a little bit.
Yeah.
It was yesterday.
I bet. Holy shit.
Yeah.
That's a lot. So, I mean, thank you for sharing, but at the same time, I'm so sorry. So.
Yeah. Honestly, I'm kind of coming at it with it's for the best.
Yeah.
For me and
for them and you. Yeah,
because
exactly.
It started to get overwhelming of like walking in my van, 3 things coming at you, wanting something.
Yeah.
And it's just like, overwhelming too much.
Yeah.
And then also combined with the 4-year-old one at 9 p.m., whatever, you're in your van, and she just wants to run back and forth. And I'm like, you would do much better in a house.
Yeah.
So I'm coming at it from the angle of it's for the best for both.
It was a wise but very difficult decision on your end.
For sure.
Yeah, I get it. Let's shift gears to the happiest.
Happiest. Okay. So Northwest Nomads, I think.
Hell yes.
Because so Descend, big, overwhelming.
Yes.
And I met so many great people.
Yeah.
And then in those, 2 weeks between Descend and Northwest, you're talking about like, are you going to go to Northwest? Are you going to go to Northwest? From all the people you met at Descend.
Yeah.
And then it's a smaller event. You get to know people more. There's a cat.
Hello, kitty cat. Hi. No, Cody, no.
He just likes to make sure he's still in there.
They're fine. He's fine. You can go say hi. See, it's okay.
Yeah, there's your cat.
It's okay.
He just woke up.
Friends.
They've been so good with him.
I love it.
Yeah, and Northwest Nomads just felt like, I want to describe it as like a sigh of relief of like, this feels so
Take a breath.
good.
Yeah.
Like
Nice.
events aren't always overwhelming and run around, and it just was like, oh, I can chill here with my friends.
Yeah. I know of the owners. I have yet to go to Northwest Nomads. I've had some professional and scheduling conflicts, unfortunately, and I look forward to attending hopefully next year.
Such a good event.
Yeah, and I know they do such a wonderful job of putting the event on, and they're pretty great human beings themselves in general. So I'm so glad that that's been your happiest. That's super rad.
Yeah.
And again, like to your point, like slightly smaller event, not necessarily as overwhelming as Descend, and allows you to kind of like ease into some relationships or conversations with others, and get to know some people and that type of thing. So I could totally see how that would be really fun.
Yeah.
And they had some great music this year.
Oh, yeah.
So that's super rad. Last question 10. Define hashtag van life in your own words and provide a piece of advice for somebody wanting to live a life on the road.
Okay. When you say hashtag van life, what like comes to my head first is freedom to roam.
Okay. Yeah.
It's just hashtag van life is honestly whatever you want to make it. If as long as you have the freedom to roam, then you can do whatever you want with that.
That's very true. Yeah, exactly. I mean, it's honestly, again, freedom is a word that gets used over and over and over and over on the show, which I love, because it's been very interesting now over shooting almost a year of episodes, how the commonalities of other nomads, and the way in which they view this lifestyle. It's very interesting. Freedom is often used, like that word specifically.
Yeah.
But they all define it differently. They all have a different definition of what that means to them,
Yeah.
So the freedom to roam is very interesting, the freedom to go and do and experience whatever you want.
Not being held back by anything.
Yeah, exactly. Your own physical choices determine where and what you want to do.
Yeah, and everything that I own is in this van.
Yeah, exactly.
This is Oliver.
Hi, Oliver. Hi, sweet. Hello, buddy. Hi. I know. I see you. I know. Maybe we'll let you come out.
Yeah.
I know. Oh, I know. Hello, friends. 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 No, I love that. And I think, it's a really wise way of thinking about it. It's because you started your quote unquote research, with Sydney, and I'm assuming hashtag van life on Instagram. So you're seeing, and again, kudos to Sydney. She's super talented at what she does, but hashtag van life is very curated. You're not necessarily seeing what the real life is and what it's actually like to live on the road. So, now that you've been on the road, having that understanding of really turning it into like, oh, it's freedom. It's what I want. It's pretty awesome.
Yeah, it's freedom. It's what you want. And there's much more downtime than you ever think.
Yeah.
You need hobbies if you don't already have them.
Yeah.
Pick some up.
Or you just fill it with 5 companies and now there's not enough time in the fucking world. So I get it completely. You're right. There is going to be a lot of downtime. And yeah, doing and experiencing and giving yourself the opportunity to kind of chase maybe a passion, or maybe it's hiking, maybe it's, biking, maybe it's something else in nature. But then really like giving yourself that time to like go experience that and seeing what that's like. Yeah. I think it's awesome. A piece of advice for somebody wanting to live a life on the road.
I'm probably going to repeat everything that 51% of the people have said, and it's to just do it. You know, like if you just keep thinking about it.
Yeah.
In 2 years I was thinking about it. You know. Don't overcomplicate it.
Okay.
Just
I love that.
Figure out how you can do it. And if my biggest hurdle was financially, how do people do this? How do I do this?
Yeah.
Okay, so you don't need the, high end.
You don't need
this
that.
one.
Yeah. You don't need that.
You can, my friend's was in her Prius, or like, someone, you can be in anything. You can make it work for you.
Yeah, correct.
And then once you do that, you can level up.
Correct.
If you need to.
Yeah, over time. Yeah, for sure.
You don't need everything right now.
Yeah, and yes, you're one of many people that say just do it. But I'm curious now, like, because you are so new on the road, like, talk about a little bit about, like, okay, there had to have been a moment when you're like, okay, I'm doing this. This is it.
I have it.
Like a habit. This is what I'm gonna do because this is important.
So,
like that moment of where you're like, yes, I'm doing this.
Yeah, I broke my ankle skiing.
Okay.
And I was non-weight bearing for like 4 months.
Okay. It's awful.
It sucked.
It sucked.
And that's when I was like, if I don't start doing this now, if I don't work towards this goal that I have, it will always be one day.
Okay.
Yeah. So, too much time on the couch, not able to move, watching a whole lot of YouTube videos.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, how do I now do it?
Let's work towards this.
Yeah, how do I, from dream to reality, how do I do this?
Okay, I love that.
So, yeah. Then,
it's just basically getting to that mindset of like, okay, this is no longer a dream. This is no longer maybe a thought I have. I'm actually going to physically figure out how to do this. I love that.
So then it was figuring out the financial aspect of it.
Yeah, of course. Amazing. Those are your 10 questions.
Yay.
Super easy, right?
Yeah, for sure.
I love it. Well, we're going to go enjoy the rest of this day. Jordan's obviously parked here with us, and we're going to enjoy the rest of Flagstaff. Actually, I'm going to get out of here and go see some other nomads. I'm going to shamelessly promote myself here a little bit at the end. I just launched I Live in A, and I'm super excited to share it with the nomadic community. ILiveInAVan.com is the website. I Live in a Rig is the Instagram. Please go check it out. So many more crazy fun things coming. But the whole point is we want to highlight what's going on in the nomadic community and all the wonderful individuals that make up the nomadic community. And yeah, so go check it out. ILiveInAVan.com. We're going to get out of here. Thank you for watching. Subscribe to the channel, and we'll see you on the next episode. Bye. It's always funny when I ask people to do that. Like, it's always
what comes out of their mouth?
Yeah, exactly. Like, go ahead and talk. I'm going to have you do it again one more time.
Saying something.
Perfect. Okay, good. Sweet. Have a conversation. So, I like the fact that it's not off the cuff.
Yeah, because sometimes people don't think that. Like, I would not be able to think that fast. I would get anxious and be like, oh, I don't know.
Yeah, exactly. And good job.
Thanks.
Well done.
Yay.
Sweet. So fun. 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 You were always in the show, too. You were in the show, too. Love that. We're still recording. See a red box around the screen? Yep. Good deal. That's always my fear.
You're filming in 4K?
Yeah, 4K unlock.
30 for that long?
Yeah, 30. Yeah.
It's not overheating?
Nope. It'll go 2.5 hours.
That's crazy.
With no issues. So, yeah, that camera's a monster. And I shoot it in N-Log so that I can
I shoot
really
raw.
plays with. It's basically right.
Right.
Yeah. There is a photographer that is trademarked that.
Yeah,
so
well, that's who
you
we're
did.
talking about.
Yeah,
He's
Frontals.
a big.
Yeah. Yeah, he's a huge
source of
YouTuber guy.
Oh my gosh, I'm so
That's good. I'm glad that you watch him.
I
Yeah,
watched like a
I like it. Good job.
Thanks.
Thank you for doing that.
Yeah.
That was amazing. Super fun.
by the way.
What? Did I say
I didn't correct you during
I said
because
Jordan.
you were.
Oh, I did. Jesus Christ. Why did I say Jordan?
I was like.
You were like just flowing in your outro, and
I
I was like,
was.
I can't stop you now.
No, I bet you're gonna.
I'm gonna actually like I'll write a little note in it and be like, I'm a fucking idiot. Why did I think your name was Jordan?
Have you interviewed anybody named Jordan?
Yeah. And I have a friend named Jordan.
Yeah.
I swore.
Jordan on the brain.
I'm like, just put Jordan before
That's really funny.
the video. You just upload it.
Oh.
I'm an idiot. That's awesome.
No,
I love
no
it.
one's worse at names than me.
Oh, I'm really bad at names as well. So, but yeah, that's really funny. That's gonna be a hilarious outtake, and that's gonna be really funny in the video.
I don't even remember Chad because I had everybody.